Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for Truth show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. But the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, and it's a pleasure to be with you again tonight. And many of you have asked, how do I get this show? I want to become a subscriber. What do I do? Very simple. You go on YouTube. You click A Time for Truth show. Again, A Time for Truth show. And then you'll get to the site, you'll click subscribe, and you'll become one of our members, and you'll be able to attain and be availed of all the previous episodes. So tonight, we actually have a very, very interesting guest who is very diverse in his fields of interest. I think you're going to find it very interesting because it's kind of a testament to really the potential that each one of us has that sometimes we don't realize or we don't use, but this person has. And engineer, if you will, let's put his pictures up on the screen and we'll introduce him first. Francisco Marte. And there you see his quote, protecting businesses, which I think is so important because you're not only protecting businesses but communities. He's from Jarabacoa, Dominican Republic, and he's the founder and president of the Bodega and Small Business Group, a 501c3 trade organization representing the needs and interests of the bodegas, the small food retailers, the immigrant entrepreneurs of all ethnicities. He's the owner of Green Earth Group, having immigrated in 1986 during the worst of times when we were told that the Bronx was burning. There was tremendous economic and social unrest, and he's built a reputation because he's tireless. He continues forward, helping socially, and is a business leader for not only his Dominican people, but all of the different ethnicities and cultures of the New York area and the small business community, and is a champion of collaboration, diversity, that really symbolizes the revitalization of the entire Bronx borough. He's a leading member of the Mayor's Small Business Advisory Committee and was awarded a citation from the New York State Assembly and from Somos and my good friend Ramon Talaj for 30 years of dedication to the community as a leader and entrepreneur. And there you see him, the jacket, the blue, the turquoise shirt. And Buddha, if we will, let's bring him up live on the screen and bid him a warm welcome to A Time for Truth show. Bienvenido.
Gracias. Thank you for having me.
You know, it's a pleasure to have someone like you and you have so much to share and so much for our viewers to learn from what you've done in your life. I want to ask you, let's start with the beginning, because you had to leave your country. What was it like for you when you first came here in 1986?
Well, it was tough. My mother, she prepared everything, all of this paperwork. She bought a store for my brothers, and that was a very tough areas on Davidson Avenues in the Bronx. She did quick the paper to bring me because I'm the one that look more like my mother. My mother is a champion. She's very hard working, and she faced many obstacles also. And so I came to the Bronx. The Bronx was very dangerous. The crime was high. My brother has the store on Davidson Avenue. I was helping him there. And then something happened. A friend of my brother's, one time he closed his store because the people there, it was so bad that the people sometimes they block the entrance to the store, and they don't allow no one to come into the store. So that day he went to my brother's store, and he said he was cursing out and saying a lot of stuff, and he said he doesn't know what to do with the store. And then he pointed at me and he said, I should give the store to your brother, that he El Priven Bravo, he's the tough guys. And I said, okay, give it to me. I don't have no money. I just got from DR here. I don't have no money. And he gave me the store. But I pay him weekly. He financed it. I pay him $70,000. I was paying him weekly. And the area when I went first, it was very tough. But the first 6 months that I got there, the day that I didn't fight, at least I had to be ready to fight. Every day almost, I gained the respect. So with the time, the people start to respect me. The tough guy, the people who sell drugs outside, they start to respect me because I didn't allow them to come into the store and pass something like I don't allow that. My store, I don't have nothing to do with drug. You won't do business. You won't do business in my store, and that's how I have a lot of problems. But I gain their respect, and with the time they respect the store. They do whatever they do outside, but they never come inside to do any kind of business. If they go inside, they just go to buy something and they walk out right away.
I want to ask you something, because I think that there's probably something that you received by doing what you did, even though it was dangerous. And sometimes in our world, I think we're concerned about our safety and not necessarily about what's right and wrong. But I want to ask you something, because I think it's important to share with the viewers. How did you feel afterwards when you saw that what you stood up for and it was happening and you gained the respect? What was the feeling? Because so many people out there say, I want to have more energy. I want to feel healthier. I want to feel happier, whatever. So I want to ask you something. How did you feel? How did that leave you feeling? And, after having done that?
Well, I feel very, very good. I feel good. I know that was, it was many risks. I took a lot of risk, but I feel well because once I make the place safe for the community, not only for my store. If it's not for the community, I make the place safe. And having the people, the working class people that live in the areas, come so much respect for me for what I've been doing to bring more control on the community and more respect. Stopping the people hanging like in front of the store and the building, the entrance of the building was next to the store. I have experienced very highly moments of places like, I said, thanks God that at least you use me for me to bring joy to other people and feel they are more safe. That they really, feel now like they like the neighborhood. So yes, I have been having a lot of experience on that, and I just continue to do what I start to doing. That was something that come up from me. I keep fighting. Now we are facing what I call is almost worse than before, because before it was consequence. Now it's no consequence. Now you do whatever you do, and you the next day you be out without not even having paying a bail. So now it's more danger on that part. It's more dangerous than before, because before the people they fear to the police. They know if they get arrested, they're gonna have consequences. They're gonna make time. If they play around with the cops, they're gonna get beat up. So sometimes we need that, especially the tough guy. We need that with the tough guy. We don't want having a police that abuse the community. But sometimes to confront a tough guy, you have to use a little extra force to dominate the people that is damage the rest of the community. So that's why I have a strong supporter of the NYPD and the community first and the NYPD, because I believe that within the community we all of theirs, the NYPD, the fire department, we all in the community. So if we have a better communication, better relation between us, the crime will go down and the people will feel more safe. Our elderly people are going to feel safe to walking around, our kids to go to school, or our working class to go to work.
What you're saying is such a positive message, and I can see that by having you in the community, how you change the whole community. I want to ask you like a question that's almost like two questions. One is, what is it that drives you, where you look at not just what you want? Why is it that you look at what the community needs, only not what Francisco Marte wants? That's one. And the second thing is, what would you suggest for the viewers so that they can do that themselves in their community?
Well, first, because I always like to care about the people who surround me, about the people that are weak, the people that sometimes they are scared to confront the tough guy, the criminals. And I feel like I can confront no matter what, or no matter what the risk that I take. I always feel like I have the power to confront whatever circumstance comes. And that's really motivate me to help people. Like when I have done, when I see people that they try to abuse him, or I bring inside to the store and I protect them. I say, no, you can, you're not gonna be attacked here. And that's something that I would love, that we have a lot of people there that they can do that. And if we start to work like that, like a caring about our community, and if we care about these areas, and then we get someone that care about another areas, so at the time that will be connect everything, and we can have a better New York, a better cities, a better community. And we can do that because everywhere is a good people. It's more good people than bad people. We just have to take a little chance sometimes. Sometimes we say, you know what, we got to stand up for our community.
It's so true. And so now you did this with your bodega, and now what then led you to establish and found this bodega and small business group that you founded?
Yes, well, I start to see the need of some leadership on bodegas, somebody to advocate for the small business, special bodegas. When something happened, that was a couple of years ago, with the case of they used called Junito. That was something that really broke my heart because it was a little kid that got killed. But the bodega's owner, he was the real victims of the violence, the victims of the parents that sometimes they don't take care of their kids. They don't know where their kids are, and then when something happens, they come to ask, and crying that this is my angel. But where were you when he was outside doing stuff? So that was a very tough time because nobody wants to defend Damaso, the owner of the store, and he's a great guy. He's one of the most nice guys, a store owner, that he used to collect turkey to give it to the community. give to back to the school, and he give stuff to collect it to give it to the community. And then they was blaming him because the social media playing with the camera with the action. When they saw that he told the kid to go out, he was telling run to the San Barnabas hospital that was across the street, and he was telling go over there. And then the people was trying, like saying that even he was hurt, he was just throwing out the store. No, he was telling him go to the hospital, run to the hospital, because he was bleeding. And that was something, that was the first time that I came up publishing to the fans. I organized a press conference for him so he can tell his version. And I was supporting him until he got his store back. And he was so lovely that the people loved him so much that even that happened there. He lost almost everything because the store was down. He lost all of the merchandise. He started from scratch again. Wow. And he was working there with his wife or his mother-in-law. Nobody else there. So even the community was protecting him. After all of the media passed, you know, a lot of irresponsible people, a lot of irresponsible electoral officials that was calling for to close the store, to suspend his license. That was very irresponsible. We have some kind of no leaders, because they are no leaders. They are elected officials that they always taking advantage of what is popular, and they taking advantage of that, and they just getting into that to get popularity, and that's what they did, and that was what they have been doing also when they come to defund the police. Right. You know, there was a wave that for one case, yes, that was a bad case, but for one bad action, you cannot say that the whole department, NYPD, the whole United States is a bad people. No, we have our family working there. They risk their life to defend us, to protect the community, so they deserve respect. Also, they come with the worst of the worst that happened here was the legalization of the marijuana. When they first came, that was my first press conference that I organized. And I got nervous and my mind set back. And then I came back again. I said, no, because I never give up. I never gave up, you know, and I never give up neither. So I be against that. So on the first attempt, it fails. They didn't approve it. So the years after that, Cuomo came again with that, and they approved to legalize the marijuana. That's the worst thing that is happening right now for our community, for the low-income community, where the people can smoke, they can get the weed so free and smoke. How you think that a guy that I have seen kids 14, 15 years old, before they come to the school, they come to the store to buy some candy, some stuff, and they already have a smoke, a joint. Do you think that when they go and they be in front of the teacher, do they will keep something in their minds? Right. You think that their mind gonna be in the class that the teacher is giving them?
No.
So exactly. So the governor was saying that we need to balance our budget. Listen, we don't need to legalize the marijuana to balance our budgets. It's so many resources where the money can come to balance the budget. And at the end of that money just will come for corporation and the government. The people who are having the license, they won't make that much money neither, because that's something that is too much regulate, and all of the benefits go to the producers and the people who pack it and they sell it and they deliver it they bring it to the store. So that bad for our community. And you know what that's gonna create? The same market that they create with the cigarette when they start to tax the cigarette so high, because they said that if they tax the cigarette high, the people will stop buying. No, it's a black market, underground market that grew up like crazy. Now we are selling more cigarettes in the New York City on the black market than legal cigarettes.
Wow, I didn't realize. realize that.
Yes.
That's interesting. You wouldn't know something like that. So interesting. And then your point that you brought out too, that I think sometimes we forget about. You, you said that I want to actually bring out to our viewers, because what you said was profound. We can balance the budget in a different way. We don't want to take our children's future and an education away from them. How can they learn, like you said, when they're high on drugs? They're not going to learn anything.
No, they won't learn anything. So that's, that was a bad decision that we have, that the elected officer or the leaders that we have there, they have been making. And a lot of them, the elected officials, they be approving that. So they don't think about really the community. I believe that, because like I said, we have a lot of elected officials, but we don't have leaders. You are a leader, that you want to serve the community, that you got passion. You need to have that passion to serve and to be for the best and go for the best of the community or the people, to protect your peoples, that what benefit you're going to get from any law that you approve, just because you're going to have more support. They're going to raise more money for you to keep running or stay in office. If you do a better job for your community, you will stay longer in the post that you was elected, because the people, we understand that. And the majority of the people, we understand, we love that. And still, even if the marijuana is allowed, is legalized, but it doesn't mean that it's accepted for the majority of the people, because it's not. There's many family members that they are scared about their kids going to school, coming outside, going to the park, because they don't know if another kids on their age, 14, 13, they're going to offer a joint. And so it's no consequence if they find you with a joint. It's not arrest, it's nothing. So I believe that drugs have to be punished hard all of the time. Not just, and we got to stop that. They just, because the minority. No, you got to see who commit the crime. And it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what is your area. You just have to be punished. Pay for what you're doing. You break the law, you have to pay for that. And that's why that I believe that for us to have a better New York, we need to be having more consequence when the people, they violate the law and commit a crime.
Right, there has to be, you're right, there has to be a right and a wrong. It can't get to the point one day where somebody kills someone and say, well, he wanted to kill him, so I guess it's okay. But yeah, it sounds a little bit ridiculous. Yeah. But some of the things that they've done when I was in high school, if my father had found out, or my mother, or the teachers of the school, I would have gotten in severe trouble. And times change, I know that. But, we have to take a look at what is really right for survival of the community and what is wrong, like you said. But I want to ask you something, because I know the show is moving and it's so important. Because I see that you said something, and I really think it's important. With the small businesses and the bodegas and the people of the community, and how they're getting kind of like just taken over and destroyed by big corporations. So that individuals, which is part of America, is having the freedom to create like you did, right? Can you say a few words about what you think we should do so that the small businesses don't get destroyed by the large corporations?
Yes, listen, if we go back to the history, before, on the 80s and the 70s, even in the beginning of the 90s, it was no big supermarket in the Bronx. It was no big supermarkets or any of those big box stores in any area of the Bronx, Washington High, Brooklyn, Queens, and the low areas, low income area. No, because the crime was too high. So we came here, especially with the Dominican people, we came here, we start to open a store, a beauty parlor, bodegas, restaurant, mechanic. So we gave life to the Bronx. And then after we clean it up, we create jobs for our people in the community.
Really, right.
And then after we clean it up, then the big box corporation, they came. It's like they kick it out. The landlords, they increase the rent crazy. It's no kind of regulation there how the bodega can stay when the lease expires, they have to renew the lease on the market price, not taking money under the table. I paid last year for another store that I have in the Bronx. I paid $30,000 under the table to the landlord to renew the lease, and he left the same rent. So he didn't even lower the rent. I gave him $30,000, and many stores they give you $100,000, $150,000, $75,000 to the landlord to renew, because we don't have, it's nobody to protect our business store.
You know what I'm going to say, to interrupt you for a second? It almost seems incorrect that if whoever it is, like you said, doesn't matter if it's Dominican, if it's European, if it's Asian, but if people come into an area and they make it safe, where before it was unsafe, and then now it becomes a better area, it would almost seem like what our leaders should do in government is validate those people, is somehow give something back to the very people who made the community safer. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And one time I went to when I started on the association, I went to the Congress because they invited me there with the previous president of the bodegas. And we went there because they was writing the new code for the tax. And I said the same thing there. I said, look, we don't need to have nothing, you give us nothing free. We clean the area. We clean those neighborhoods that was endangered. And then the government comes, they give you a tax break to all of those big corporations, and they don't give us those tax break. We don't ask you for something special. Give us the same treatment that you give it to the big corporation, give it to the small business, so we can stay in the community.
You know what? Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I want to validate and make a strong point to what you're saying, because the way America started is immigrants from all over the world came here, and like you said, they made businesses, they made it safe, they made a community, and New York is communities from all over the world, and we're here and we're working together. And I think you're so right. We need to validate those people, not penalize them. And we have to look, and not just because some corporation can pay a lot of money, they get the tax break, but the individuals, the small guys, can also get the tax breaks because of what they've done. Not because they're poor people. No, they're proud people who have done something, and they merit having something. So we ran out of time, but I want to ask you something, because I know you have a lot of good thoughts. What final statement, Francisco Marte, I feel like your name is so appropriate, do you want to give for the people on what you think we need to do in 2023 so we have a great New York?
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth, because this is the time for the truth. We need to come together. We need to unite all of them. And we got to fight for our values. We got to fight to bring back the public safety. But in order to get that, we have to unite it. We have to work together. We, all of the organization and the community, we have to come together. It's like everybody can keep their own identity, but we can work together. And that's what we need. Let's unite it. Let's work together. Let's have the public safety back in this great city. New York is the greatest city in the world. So let's keep up and let's maintain it nice and safe.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to have you, un placer tenerte aquí.
Gracias, my place.
It really. And for those of you watching, you know what? I think Francisco Marte has given us an idea of what we can do, how we can feel better about ourselves. And for those leaders out there watching this, let's take a look, because you know what goes around comes around, and what we plant is what we get back. So let's plant some good things. Let's move together. Like Francisco says, it's easy to fight with each other. Let's do something new for humanity. Let's work together and let's go up. all together. It can happen. Have a good night.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. But the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet